A brand new DC animated film is here, the first of 2022, and not only does it tell an original story, it's also anime, so I couldn't be happier. This is my review of Catwoman Hunted. While attempting to steal a priceless jewel, Catwoman finds herself in the crosshairs of both a powerful consortium of villains as well as the ever-resourceful Interpol, not to mention Batwoman herself. Now, before I properly start with my review for Catwoman Hunted, I want to first of all thank A.B.V Home Entertainment for sending me over a copy of the Blu-ray for this film for the purposes of this review, and I want to know your thoughts on it, if you're excited for it, if you've seen it, got the physical copy, got the digital copy, anything and everything down there in the comments below. Just start the conversation because it's always the most important part. And if you like movies and TV, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. Now, Catwoman is not personally a fan favorite character of mine, so I didn't know what to think about this film. I stayed mostly away from any details, any trailers, and these DC animated films overall for me are very 50-50. So color me surprised when this turned out to be one of the best ones. First of all, what works best for Catwoman Hunted is its small-scale story. This is entirely focused on this one adventure for Catwoman, while certain lines of dialogue and interactions here and there do breathe life into a more expansive world. Through certain exchanges she has with Batwoman, you understand the kind of history that they have with one another, the kind of experiences that they lived, whether together or that they know that the other lived through. And you also get this really good chemistry and sense of camaraderie between the two, where their relationship is not exactly easy. It's a bit rocky because of the whole anti-hero robber kind of thing. But it gives this version of Catwoman, this version of Batwoman, a distinct personality. And the voice cast is also great. So many veterans on this. A ton of people from Gargoyles, which is a show I love. But the standout to me was Stephanie Beatriz as Batwoman, and Elizabeth Gillies, who I wasn't familiar with, does such a great job as Catwoman. She really stands out in a great way in this role. And the animation is great. The film looks fantastic overall, and the action is fluid and seamless on screen. And even the score is great. In terms of tone and how this film approaches the story, it really reminded me of a Cowboy Bebop episode, but I was basically watching a Cowboy Bebop movie with characters from DC Comics that I love. Just this great feeling of one of those old school episodic adventures, just entirely focused on this character with this smooth, sultry jazz score in the back. The film has a surprise amount of gravitas in terms of its tone and some more risque scenes. You also have a ton of villains showing up here, from Barbara Minerva to Black Mask to Tobias Whale, Solomon Grundy, and so many others. I just can't emphasize enough how surprised I was with Catwoman Hunted. There are drawbacks though, don't get me wrong. It doesn't quite get to be a great movie. Some of the side elements and even side villains in this film feel tonally off and just unnecessary, where they don't properly have an impact on the story, and it feels like the film just rushes into it. There's not a proper sense of escalation, so we're just at the beginning and then we're already seemingly in the third act, and so the bulk of the film feels like an overextended third act that just doesn't end for a while. Just structurally, I wish there was another look at the script to kind of trim out certain edges that didn't need to be there. And also, when the film properly does get to its third act, it feels like an overextension that is somewhat disconnected from the rest of the story. It feels like something that should have been built up to maybe on another film, on a sequel, but it's just kind of the third act of that missing film collaged into this one. Still fun, still really intense how Catwoman goes up against this certain character that I won't spoil, but just structurally, again, just needed a little bit more of a cohesive structure. But overall, Catwoman Hunted is honestly such a romp of a fun time. With a sensational score, it's a visual feast for the eyes and does give way into a more open world that I hope we see in a show or even a sequel to this film. I'm giving Catwoman Hunted a B. Those are my thoughts on Catwoman Hunted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anything and everything, just start the conversation. And if you enjoyed what you saw here, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Warner Brothers Home Media for sending over that copy right there of the film. And thank you to channel members Bruna and Stuart for making this video possible. And I'll be back very soon with more reviews, and my review for Death on the Nile is now up on the channel, so I hope to see you there and on any other video I upload in the near future. And until the next one, love each other and love the movies.